Alright, chat, I'm sorry I'm late. I just got hit by one of Short Fat Otaku's takes, so I had this little aneurysm. I needed to patch myself up. I was like, my brain has frozen. Like, I listened to one of... I'm sorry I'm late. I just got... Shut up, V. No one cares what you have to say. But I just listened to one of Short Fat Otaku's takes, and it's usually like you get a stun. You're like, how can anyone say this? Like, why? And now that I recovered, I'm here. How was your day, though? My day was awful. It was awful because it was cold. It's minus 14 degrees Celsius. The World Economic Forum has lied to me. I'm planning to sue. Like, they promised me global warming. You know, maybe now I get it. You know, they didn't lie. They didn't lie. Is that because I paid more taxes, because I was forced to endure, now we have finally fixed the planet. So... now I get to benefit from minus 14 degrees Celsius. It is so fucking cold though. Like my heater is running pretty good, but I feel like at my feet there is this chill. It's very unpleasant, chat. Anyway, your day could have been worse. What is it like 15? Sorry, is it like minus 13 degrees over there? It's not minus 14? Okay. You like the cold, you love the rain and snow? What is wrong with you? Like, I actually have to pay money for heating. You know, like the heat isn't free. Why would you like the cold? Like, do you like spending money out of your wallet? Are you rich? Are you a rich bitch? This doesn't make sense. Like, people that like the cold. Like, what do you like? Hip fracture? Like, people slip. It'll slip on the snow. Wear gloves on your feet? I'm in my house. I'm supposed to feel comfortable. Why would I dress like an Eskimo inside my own house? Like, sure, I'm not saying there aren't ways around the cold. Like, yes, I can turn off the heater. I can put 3 jackets on and get my wife titty next to my chick. Like, sure, you know, like, I can get myself warmed up, but I want to be comfortable. Anyway, what do we start with? Do we start with Short Fat Otaku? Again, I didn't want to pick on him. It's just that I get this social media algorithm that keeps promoting him. It's like, V, do you know what you need today? A Canadian take. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell. I'm starting to realize like why people are really upset about him. It's not that they're upset, but it's like the word is saying he lives rent free in your head. It's not that he lives rent free. I mean, any type of person that says monumental stupidity gets to live rent free, right? Because like you're sleeping at night and you're waking up and you're like, my God, how can a person like God, are you real? Why are you allowing people to say such dumb things? You know? And yes, it's like, it's stunning. It's stunning. It's like, what? Someone said that? Really? The reason that people talk about Short Fat Otaku so much it's not necessarily his bad takes, which they are bad, but it's also the smugness. Like this level of, it's not that he has an opinion, is that he is smart and everyone else is an imbecile according to him. And you gotta look at that and it's like, wow, such humility. Lots of angry losers in the reply, right? So like, again, it's not like he has one take or that he has an opinion. It's like, no, he is the smartest man alive that God have ever blessed planet Earth with. Everyone else that disagrees is an angry loser. Like, you can't just mock him. You have to be angry as well. This is like the hallmark of the leftists. This is why people don't like leftists. And to be honest, like religious bigots as well. But leftists are the predominant ideology in our time. It's not that they're just smug, but they also assume that you're angry. Like you must be angry. You can't just make fun of him. You can't just, like you must also be emotional about it. So why is he saying this? Well, he's saying this because someone posted, the fact that they're trying to replace this with this should radicalize you beyond belief. So it's like, you know, like the basic bitch right-wing talking point that you can find on Twitter. And he's like, bro, if you want more white people around, go have more white kids. Immigration is not replacement if you're actually having kids rather than whining online. But like, here's the thing, like, what if I don't want more people? Like, what if I legitimately have no interest in having more people? What if I want the Romanian population to settle down to around 4 million? Like, I don't want Romanians to stop existing. I just think, like, maybe 20 million is a bit too much. And you'd ask, well, V, why would you want that? Well, I mean, let's look at it. The number of houses would increase. Like if 60 million people, right, like the next generation would have like 60 million people less, you would have a lot more houses. The price would be cheaper. The price for a wage would explode. Like there's less people to hire, right? So like they would pay more. The remaining people, like my child, right, like the new generation, his voting power would be stronger. Like, you gotta understand, at some point it's not sustainable. Like, you cannot just grow and grow the population. If you keep growing the population, how many Romanians, or actually, okay, let's put it this way. Let's say that America would constantly grow, right? Like, what everyone wants. How many Americans would you have by year 2500? A billion? 10 billion? How would those people live? Like, you need at some point to have a wave, right? Like, I'm not saying that Romania should always be at 4 million, but I'm saying, like, okay, what if in 2 generations it's 4 million Romanians, in 4th generation it goes back to 12, and then it goes back to 18, right? Like, and then it goes back down. Would that be undesirable? Like, would that be bad if the number would come and go? I'm just giving an example, right? But what Dev is saying is like, no, like, if this is natural, and it is, like, historically speaking, it is natural, right? Like, the Roman Empire, at its peak, had tens of millions of people. During the medieval era, the number of people decreased to millions, hundreds of thousands in some countries. Then it went back up again. Then it went back down during World War I. Like, this is normal, right? But what Dev is saying is, like, when the wave goes down, the government should bombard you with immigrants so you can have more kids. And I'm like, why? So they pay taxes? Like, so they slave for someone else? Like, what is the point? The only people that are upset that the next generation doesn't have as many children are the people that benefit from government handouts, are the people that benefit from welfare, are the politicians that take their wages from taxpayer money, and are the people that have businesses and they want cheap labor. That's literally the only people that benefit from higher demographics. I don't benefit, okay? And this is how I do politics. Like, how does it advantage my family? That's the only question that matters. I don't care about anything else. How does it advantage my family? If it's not advantaging my family, then why should my family promote something that's not advantageous? If it's not advantaging my family, then it's not a common good. If it's a common good, it should advantage your family and mine as well. Anyway, that was how I started my day. His lack of respect. He had good takes ages ago, but the way he acts makes you genuine and aggressive. Yes, it's kind of like that. But it's not. It's not that he is rude. You know, like for instance, Andrew Tate is rude. But there's like a different level of rudeness. I think like the problem with him is that he is rude and smug at the same time, especially when he is wrong. And you can go back in the past and you can see that some of his takes were wrong and he had like the exact same smugness about them. Like there's no humility in his takes. More kids means more future purchases for your game. No, because I'm making an adult game, so no kids allowed. No, but I get what you're saying, right? The thing is though, human history does not support the idea that humanity is like locusts, that you can just expand and expand and expand. Like at some point, populations decline and then they go back up again. Like this has happened for thousands of years. This is not unnatural. This is actually the way. It's kind of like the tide when it comes to water, right? Like tide goes in, tide goes out, like Bill O'Reilly liked to say. You have like a higher number of people, and then you have a low number of people. And you have to live through it. Japan is doing that. South Korea is doing that. I have yet to hear of a single population in history just like died out because they didn't have kids. The population disparity is actually like this. You have less people in the cities, more people in the rural area. During the fall of the Roman Empire, the cities fell, but the rural area remained. And the rural area managed to repopulate the cities. Like, it's not the end of the world, okay? It's a financial issue. It's not an existential issue. Anyway. People have the stomach to watch Dev. Well, I mean, I guess people do. How many subscribers does he have? Hold on. How many videos does Dev... how many views per video does he have? I'm looking. Hold on. Short Fat Otaku. He's got... Oh, he's doing worse than my channel. He's getting 5,000 views, 6,000 views. I wonder what, like, is the algorithm hating him? I think the algorithm is hating him. But I don't understand why, though. There's a video he made, Why I'm a Liberal. This one is pretty good. It's got 70,000 views. But look, I have a feeling that it's going to be like 5 hours long. Like, he can't just make videos. I like, he used to make small videos, but I think at some point he said, you know, I believe that people make responses to my videos, and in order to stop that from happening, I'm going to make videos 7 hours long. And then no one can make a response. So, let's see how long this one is. See? 20 minutes. Who the fuck makes a 20-minute video?
Freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom of association, free markets, free trade, free travel, privacy rights, property rights, limited government, equality before the law, consent.
Yeah, you know, like, all of this is good until you bombard people with immigrants, Dev. Right? Like, you know, well, you know, you just have to have more kids, and, like, you have the freedom, like that. Yeah, sure. Freedom of religion. I mean, it makes sense, you know? Is he on speed? Oh, well, that's a good point. He does make a 20-minute video, and he talks really fast. Anyway, right, I didn't want to talk about Dev today. I just, got the algorithm pushing his video to me. Wait, what the fuck? Like, again, this is why I hate Twitter. It's like, I'm saying, what if I don't want my population to grow like locusts? What if I want to have one kid? I want housing and wage prices to go down. Oh, never mind. I actually made English not my speaky. English, my second language. Yeah, I did say wages to go down rather than wages to go up. But to be honest, like, wages going down may not necessarily be a bad thing either. Wages going down means more jobs, right? Usually, if you have, like, a factory owner and he pays less, he can hire more people. That's why they pay less. They're usually, like, opening a new factory. This is like a misconception that a lot of leftists use, and they don't get it. They will say, well, the economy is going better and wages aren't going up. It's like, yeah, they're not. Like, usually factory owners, they open another factory. And now more people can have jobs, right? And sometimes, I just want to say, like, I would prefer having a smaller wage and have a job than to not have any job at all, so... Is there a rule where you have to say bro? Yes, you gotta say bro. To be honest, like, I'm going to start saying governor. Like, governor used to be really good. It's like, alright, governor, you know, it sounds a lot better. This is like another interesting take. In that mind, so I basically said, what if I just want to have one kid, right? And we have this gentleman saying, It's the mindset. It's this mindset that led you to this situation. It's like, how the fuck is it my mindset that led me to this situation? I come from communism. Like in communism, the mindset was to ban birth control, ban abortions, force people to have kids. And I am in this situation because people emigrated, right? I'm already in a situation because of your mindset, right winger. Like it's your mindset. You got everything you wanted in communist Romania. Everything was banned, okay? Abortions were banned. Divorces were frowned upon. There was no contraception, no condom, no pill. You literally got it in my country. It was your dreamland. You know what happened? People fled. They shot the dictator and then they fled to the fucking multicultural West. But anyway, right, so it's the mindset that got me in the situation. If everyone thought like you, well, why does everyone have to think like me? Like, not everyone is in my situation. Not everyone is equal communist. Not everyone has the same things that I have. Probably if I was on a farm and I was poor and the only thing that I could do for fun was fucking, I would probably have like 6 or 7 kids. I would think differently because I would be in a different environment. If I was in a place where I knew that I can put my child to work at the age of 9, yes, I would probably have like 5 kids. So that they can work on the farm, so that they can milk that fucking cow, so that they can pluck the eggs away from the chicken. But because I'm in a city, and because the kids need to have an education, and they need to get a degree, and by the age of 22 I still have to pay for them, I will not have 7 children. I think differently because I'm in a different environment. I really hate this mentality. It's like if everyone thought like you. Well, maybe if everyone was in my situation, they would probably think like me. But guess what? People aren't in my situation. So after a few decades, there wouldn't be enough working adults to sustain the country. Okay, poor people have more kids. This is known. Like the welfare system would collapse. There would be no welfare. Immigrants would stop coming here. That would be a good thing. Then people can have more kids. It's literally how history is supposed to operate, right? But my answer to it is like, look, I don't care about your comfort. I have no interest in your well-being. And I generally I don't know this man. I have no idea who he is. And so, like, why would I care about him? I do not want anything from your family. As such, you are not entitled from anything from my family, right? Like, if I don't want anything from his family, why does he want me to have children? Like, why should I have children? Like, I'm waking up and I'm talking with my wife. It's like, why do we need to have more kids? And I would be like, well, because TQN may end up being old and there would be no welfare for him. And my wife is like, oh shit, like, yeah, we need to fuck for TQN. You know, like, it just doesn't work that way. Like, let's be honest, you know, like, unless his children are going to marry my children, we are not a we. There is no we. There's no communism here. Like, we are not related. His interests aren't my interests. If he has a good life, that doesn't make my life any better. And so if I don't have any demands from him, why does he have demands from me? And his answer is like, I'm not asking for anything. You literally are asking. You're asking me to have more children. I have 1 child. You don't know who I am. You're a person over the internet, but you're basically saying that I'm supposed to have 3 kids. And it's like, why? Do you understand my financial situation? Do you care like anything about it? No. Okay. But you want something from me. And this is my question. Why should I give you something? Like, what do I get in return? Your country is yours and you have the right to keep it that way, but understand that you need a certain amount of population to maintain it. Historically speaking, Romania has never had 20 million people like it has now. Like, if anything, we are at peak population. And you're basically saying that it's not enough. And it's like, okay, let's say that next generation, Romania has 40 million people. Great. The generation after that, Romania will have 80 million people. Where will those people live? How will those living conditions be? Will there be enough housing? Will they actually have decent lives? Like, think about it. Like, the plot of land remains the same, right? Like how many people can you stuff on a plot of land? Like, do we even have resources? Like, the very idea that you can grow exponentially is fine up until a point. You know, like, Romania will never be able to have the population of the United States. There is simply not enough space. We cannot have the population of China. There needs to be a time period where the population goes down so it can go back up again. This doesn't mean that I want immigrants. Yeah, no, it's like seriously, these individuals are like holy fucking shit. You know, it's when population dips, the next generation will have more kids. This stuff is natural. It literally is. Like, you look at history, it unironically is. I've never had issue working in rural areas, unlike the great cities. I don't make money I would like in the cities, but my living standards much more higher than the cities. Yeah. Cities are literally population sinks. Well, this is my point, right? Like, people, when they look at population decline, they look at the entire nation. The problem is, like, people have less children in the cities. If you go into the rural area, they still have a lot of kids. And if you look at the fall of the Roman Empire, as I mentioned before, the biggest nastiness was in the cities. Like, once the supply chains dropped, there wasn't enough food in the cities. There were gangs, there were riots, there were violence in the cities. But if you happen to be like during the height of the Roman Empire, right, and you experience its fall, if you're in a rural area, like, nothing changes. In fact, life is better. Unironically, like, life is better. Your grain sells for more. You get a lot more working people to hire because they're coming from the cities. So, like, the fall of the Roman Empire that everyone is afraid of is only nasty if you happen to be in the cities. So what happens afterwards? Well, what happens afterwards is the cities fell. And after a while, after things regulate, the people from the rural area, they move back into the cities and they repopulate the cities. Right? Like this is historical fact, and it has happened with the fall of every single empire. As long as you have your land and you can grow your shit, you're pretty much independent. Member for 36 months, Mr. JDA79. Thank you for being subscribed to the channel. Holy shit, 3 whole laps of buyer's remorse. Good times. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. You know what's interesting? The argument centers around low birth rate, so accept billions of immigrants. But no one even asked, did the birth rate fall in the immigrant countries? Again, I honestly think, and this is my take, I think welfare is one of the problems. The other problems is the internet. The reason the internet is a problem is because of the dating websites. Let me put it this way. Let's say you're a woman, right? And this is what happens to many girls now. They go online and they're getting bombarded by men. Like, a woman that's at the age of 16, she already has her social media bombarded by men. Now, let's assume that the woman genuinely wants a relationship. Like, she's not a gold digger. She's not a whore. She doesn't do OnlyFans. Like, no, like any teenage girl, you know, like she genuinely wants to meet someone special. But she goes online, and the way it works with women, right? Like, they're not making the first step. They're getting contacted. And they're getting contacted by hundreds of guys. Now, obviously, you know, she's going to look through all of them, and she's going to pick the one she likes. Maybe she talks to 3 or 4, but at the end of the day, she's going to choose the one she likes. She goes out with him, right? Now, out of 100 guys, she's going to pick the Chad. I mean, everyone would do that as well, right? Like, if you have, like, 100 people to go from, you're going to select the one that pleases you the most. She's going to go with the Chad. Probably the Chad is already out of her league. Like she's an average girl. Or maybe she's actually great. Who knows? But she's going to go with, like, someone that's out of her league. Simply because the supply and demand. And because the internet allows her to meet guys from her entire city. Like, it's not like before the internet where she could only meet guys from her school. Where she could only meet guys from her circle of friends. No, like, in 2026, she can meet guys from the entire city. Probably even outside the city. You know, she can date men that are older. She can date men that have a car, that have a house. Another 16-year-old guy simply cannot compete with this, right? Like if she decides to date someone that's 24 and the guy is already rich and he's got his own apartment, he's got his own cars, another guy from her class cannot compete with that. And so she goes out on a date. She dates Chad. Now, Chad doesn't like her. It's not even her fault, right? Like Chad being like in the top percent of like peak masculinity, he already has like 5 or 6 other girls lined up. And so when they have an argument, or after he had sex with her, after he gets bored, he have an argument, breaks up with her, starts dating someone else, right? That's how the internet works. You will notice that men come in 2 packages. Either men that aren't popular with women at all, and these are men that are, you know, like the forever alone, they never have a girl, or the men that are popular with a lot of women. Like, very rarely do you find a man that's popular with just 1 or 2 women. Like, it's either they're incredibly popular, and so, like, they have a lot of options, or they're forever alone. Like, there is no in between. And so, like, the Chad that she picked, he has a lot of girls to choose from, right? He had sex with her, he's going to have sex with another. It's just like how womanizers are nowadays. You know, like if she goes with Andrew Tate. Like, Andrew Tate is not a loyal man. He doesn't have only 1 woman. Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not a loyal man. Like, they're Chads, they have children and everything, but like, they're not loyal. Anyway, right. Let's go back to her point of view. Like, she did nothing wrong, right? Like, she's a girl that went through puberty, wanted to start dating. She went on the internet, was seduced by a guy. She wanted to go out with him. She does go out with him. He breaks up with her. Now, she has tasted the Chad, okay? Like, she got the creme de la creme. She got the top percent. She managed to touch the god Apollo. She is now, in her mindset, worthy of another Chad. This is like a person that worked at Microsoft. Like, they already managed to climb the top of the ladder from the get-go. Their ego is now twisted. Not because they're bad people, but because this is how the human mind works. Like, when you reach in a certain place, you think, well, you deserve to be there. And so she's going to date another Chad. And the other Chad, probably another womanizer. Or, another possibility, she's not attracted to average men anymore. She just doesn't find them attractive, right? And where am I going with this? Well, this is what the internet does. What the internet does. Why does the internet do this? Before the internet, the only way you had to meet someone else was through circle of friends, through the workplace, or through your school or university. Basically, if you met someone and then you dumped them, your reputation would take a hit. Like, if you're a man and you're the Chad and you go to high school, right? And you start dating all the girls and you have sex with them and you dump them and you go to every single girl knows what you're doing. They will call you a womanizer and they will socially destroy you. You cannot pull this shit in the 90s before the internet. Like, your reputation as a man would be that you're not a serious person, you're a womanizer. Every single girl will say, she slept with my best friend, and then he broke her heart, and they were basically going to just destroy that guy. But in the world of the internet, there is no more reputation. Like, he is now dating girls from the entire city. And so, the reason you have less marriages and the reason you have less children is because women are broken because of it. Men are broken because of it. And so in nations, in immigrant nations where they don't have technology yet, the birth rates are still fine. But when the technology happens, all of a sudden birth rates plummet. Let me go through some super chats. SRC Maker, thank you for the $5. Why don't these guys go to engineering school, learn how to mass produce super long carbon tube, and then create 10-mile high apartment buildings? Well, it's not just by the apartment buildings. It's also due to the resources available. I mean, look, I live in a residential area. When I moved here, it was very easy to get to the city. It took me around 10 minutes to get to the city. Now they decided to build a lot of apartment blocks, right? There's some Romanians that came back from, I think, like Germany and the UK and decided to come back into their town. And so, like, there's a huge residential area that has been built here. The problem is, like, the street is very narrow. I have, like, 10 kilometers of street that only allows 2 cars to move by. Now, during the rush hour, after they built the new residential block, and they brought like 5,000 people here, the street is impossible. Like it took me a couple of minutes to go to the city first. Now it takes me an hour during rush time. Right? So it's not like literally, oh, well, it's difficult to build upwards. You can. But like everything else is going to suffer. The more people you have, the more the logistics get strained, the more expensive life becomes. Zlixian for $2 had a message that was deleted by Juafi. I'm actually curious if I can see what he actually posted. No, I can't see what he posted. What the fuck did he post? Also, no explanation from Mr. Juafi. Another... Okay, hold on. Zlixian, do message me on Discord so I can see what you said. Because this is kind of weird. Like, what exactly... Like, I know... See, usually I would stream at the moderator, but I do know that Mr. Zlixian is fed posting a lot, so I don't know, like, if the moderator did something bad or not. Did he post a speech of hate? Like, did he dox someone? What the fuck did he do? He sent 3 super chats, and I couldn't read any of them, because the moderator, deleted the message. Oh, apparently, no, hold on. Oh, he is contemplating self-deletion. Zlixian, there are various rules and terms that my channel has to abide by, or I will have no channel. I will not be able to keep entertaining you every single evening if you're posting, dark thoughts on the super chats. The YouTube moderators do not understand jokes, metaphors. They understand shareholders, and they understand high risk. So if you have dark thoughts, you can talk to me in DMs, and I will do my best in order to undarken you. I will use the magic of pornography in making you desire to live. Look, just like Asmongold had dark thoughts, but he managed to survive because World of Warcraft, like the new expansion came out and it made him want to keep on living. You must live as well in order to play my video game. Like you must decide that experiencing my video game is a lot more important than committing self-deletion. Okay? SRC Maker, thank you for $20. Seriously, what a troll pulls V. Come on, dude. We have the same problem. I've been out here in the rural area, New Jersey, and they started building apartments. You know how disgusting apartments near farms look. In a way, the people in the apartments may like it because the smell of fresh hay is something that a lot of people enjoy. But yeah, it's probably bad for the farmers, I guess. Never Minecraft, yes. My thoughts are approved by the USDT. What is the USDT? And thank you, Endymion, for $2. What region of Romania am I in? I'm not going to dox myself. I'm not going to dox myself. Every time people ask me, you know, but my mama told me that I shouldn't tell strangers on the internet where I live. And my mama was part of the objective morality. Like, see, Christians think they have objective morality. I agree. But I don't think objective morality comes from God. I think objective morality comes from my mama. And my mama literally said I shouldn't tell people where I live from. Anyway, right. Let's go to the actual title of the video. But first, a super chat from the Corica. Wait. Who is the Corica? I've never had the Corica. Thank you for the $5. Sounds like a girl name. Do I have girls watching? That's... I recently purchased a Romanian-made AK-47. Are you able to as a Romanian? No, I don't think like the Corica is a woman because this stinks too much. Like this is a very nasty tailored insult that is wounding me right now. No, the Corica, okay? Despite the fact that my government is making AK-47s, I cannot actually own any type of weapons. The Romanian government has some of the strictest gun control laws in the entire world. Like you will not, I'm not even kidding. You will not find a nation that has stricter gun control laws than Romania. And there is a reason for that. We actually did have a Second Amendment before World War II. After World War II, communists came here. Now, I want you to understand, before communists managed to win the elections in Romania after World War II, and they won the elections with the help of the Red Army, the Communist Party had 1,000 members in a nation with 10 million people. Okay? You do not want those people to have guns if you come in with 1,000 members. And so this is why Romania had the strictest gun control laws in the world. How many people have an AK-47 that made in Romania? What the fuck? You need a license to buy water guns in Australia? I don't think so. Look, all I know, like let me tell you. Okay, hold on. I'll tell you the legislation. If you want a gun in my country, right? What you need to do is to first prove that your life is in danger. Okay? In order for your life to be in danger, you have to say that, for example, there is a serious belief that imminent death may come to you. So, like, you're a woman and your ex-boyfriend has escaped prison. That would count. I'm not kidding. If you are a prosecutor, right? A public prosecutor, you can get a gun. If you are a judge, you can get a gun. The availability of getting guns is insanely low. You can also get a gun for hunting, like that, but you also need to have a license to be a hunter. You cannot use it in self-defense. Like if you use it in self-defense, you go to prison. Okay? You can also have a gun for sport. Like there are certain gun competitions, but that's kind of like an airsoft gun. And you can also get a gun for a replica, but you have to disable it. Now, okay, let's say you actually are able to buy a deadly weapon in Romania. Like your life is in danger. Okay, you file it. So what else? You need to take, I believe it's 2 weeks of gun practice. Like you gotta go to the shooting range. You gotta show that you know how to fire. Then you need to take 2 weeks of theory. I don't know why that is. I don't know what they teach there. Like probably how bullets work, how to clean a gun. Like I don't know. But like literally you have to study for 2 weeks about guns, and then you take an exam that you know how to shoot. You take an exam that you know the theory of the weapon, how it works, and everything like that. Then you have to file. You have to file paperwork. And again, like all of this is while your life is in danger. Like you're genuinely fearing your safety. Like your ex-boyfriend has managed to escape prison. Now, after you do all of this, you are actually allowed to buy a Grand T-Power pistol. That is the strongest weapon in the universe that you're allowed to buy. I will give you the specs in a little bit because it's kind of funny. But the idea is once you buy the Grand Power T12, you need to install a safe in your house. The safe needs to have 2 compartments. One compartment is for the ammo. The other compartment is for the weapon. You are not allowed to keep the weapon loaded in your house. You are not allowed to keep the weapon in your house if it's not a safe. You are not allowed to keep the ammunition in your house unless it's in the safe. You are not allowed to have more than 10 bullets in the chamber at any time. You cannot purchase more than 20 bullets. 10 bullets in the gun, 10 bullets in a box. You're not allowed to purchase more than that. The police is allowed to come into your house whenever they wish. The moment that you have signed the papers, you have consented to allow the police officer to come into your house to inspect that the gun is in the safe. Right? Like, they don't need a warrant anymore. You gave them permission. You're basically saying, I need to have a gun. They will say, okay. But in exchange, we are allowed to come into your premise, into your private property, whenever we like, to see that the gun is kept into the safe and to see that you follow the procedure. Now, let's look at the Grand Power T12. This is the strongest gun that you can buy for self-defense in my nation. The Grand Power T12, also called the Grand T, has a caliber of 10 times 28T. I have no idea what it means. I do not speak in weapons, but I assume it must be powerful. It's got a 93mm barrel. It has a capacity of 15 rounds. I spread harmful and dangerous misinformation. You're not allowed to have 20 bullets. You're allowed to have 30 bullets. The Romanian government is generous here. It is described as ambidextrous safety and ambidextrous control by the retailers. It's a 9mm Romarm pistol, Romanian made. See? Grand Power T12. You wish you would have access to this shit. You do not. Only the most worthy of Romanians can have access to this powerful weapon. This semi-fully automatic ghost gun weapon of war that Americans wish they would have. We just built an EM coil. We call it a macro linear accelerator with parts from an electronics store, a hardware plumbing store. I mean, to be honest, like, at this point, you wouldn't be far off, because here's the interesting thing. You are allowed to have a weapon for self-defense if your life is in danger. And if you fulfill all of these specifications. And only if you buy something like a Grand Power T12. However, you're not allowed to carry it outside. Like, it has to be in the house. It has to be in the safe. It has to be in separate compartments. You cannot simply walk with it outside. You have to call the government every time you want to take your firearms out of your house? No! You are not allowed to take your firearms out of your house. However, this is actually a great point that Mr. Trendbad raised. If you move houses and you have to carry the gun away, you have to call the government and you have to tell them, I am moving my domicile. I have decided to marry a beautiful woman at the other edge of the country and I carry a deadly weapon. And as such, I need to move the deadly weapon from my house to the other, and you need to get a license. Either that or you hand it off to them and they carry it for you. I do not know what the procedure is. Did you hear about the ICE agent who got his finger bitten off by a peaceful protester? There's a guy that found me. See, that's actually not even funny. Like, imagine being mutilated by a leftist. There is a law on YouTube. There's part of the TOS. I am not allowed to say that people are animals. And so I do not know how to call another human being that bites another person's finger off. Okay, now I'm curious. I see a super chat getting deleted, and I do not know what the person said. I hope the guy didn't get the HIV. I mean, you're bit by a leftist. You run the risk of rabies, and you run the risk of some sexual disease. This is on top of the mutilation. Can you call them demonic? But my God, like, I really hate this. I don't know why I do, because, like, when I hear demonic, I think of sexy succubi with big tits. And so, like, it's not, like, demonic is cool. Demonic is edgy. I grew up in the 90s. Alright? Like, for me, demonic is heavy metal. Right? It's like the band Kiss. Like, I'm sorry, they gave demonic good PR. What can I do? Like, if the Christians would have sang better, that's all the Christians had to do. They had to make better movies. They had to make better art. They had to win the culture war. But instead, they decided to become the fun police. And they just gave away the culture war to other people that made Doom and Heretic. What did the Christians do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. They could have made good games. They could have, like, creative people, but no, they didn't. And so, like, for me, demonic has a positive meaning. To be honest, though, like, the Democrats are destroying that meaning when you had, like, the spiritual cooking dinner with Hillary Clinton. See, like, if that would have stuck. Kisses 70s. It doesn't matter. When I grew up, it was popular in Romania. We had communism. We didn't get the 70s. And so when communism fell, we managed to get everything from the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Communists, rabid communists, that is what they are. See, like, that to me rings better than demonic. Like, that to me is actually powerful. Like, already I'm feeling the animosity. Need a VUS vlog where he goes to a rage with a cowboy hat. I actually don't know how it would be like if I fire a gun. I saw Sargon of Akkad fire a 50k cal with Alex Jones. And that was pretty cool. I will go fund me to send V the unsubscribed podcast to hang out with Brandon and Donut Operator. Donut Operator was the cop, wasn't he? Right? I mean, I am physically afraid of weapons, and this is something that most Romanians have. Like, if you come to my house and you put a Glock on the table, just by the weapon sitting there, it causes dread to me. I cannot explain as to why. It is a phobia. This is probably the fact that the Romanian government doesn't have military service anymore. And so, like, people literally don't see guns. And if you put a gun on the table, like, or you go, like, with the gun, like, already I'm panicking. If Lucifer really rebelled against God because he ordered his angels to serve humans, I am 100% on Lucifer's side. The whole story in the Bible with Lucifer, like, to me, doesn't really make sense. If you know that God is omnipotent and all-powerful, then why would you rebel knowing that you will lose? Now, if you rebel, it means you're retarded. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, right? Like to me, the whole story of Lucifer's rebellion, it's not Game of Thronesy. Like, I don't see the geopolitics there. I do not understand, you know, like, even the logistics of the war in heaven. Like, if the angels don't die, then what are they fighting? You know, what is the military objective there? What were the factions, you know? Like, what is Lucifer, like, trying to convince the other demons to join him? Where is the drama? There's no drama. It's like, well, he rebelled and he fell. I was like, that's it? Yeah. Okay, and after he fell in hell, why did the demons still follow him? Why did the other demons rebel against him? Like, why isn't there a civil war in hell then? So like, the demons are now going person to person, trying to make them do sin? Yeah. Well, that's not very efficient. Like, why isn't the demons just corrupting the politicians, and then the politicians brings everyone else into sin? It's called daddy issues. Yeah, but, like, you would think that a creature that's allegedly insanely intelligent, because, like, Lucifer is described as an angel, and angels are described as, like, having all of the knowledge. Like, an angel doesn't learn things, it already knows, right? This is why they can't change, because, like, when they make a decision, it's implied that they look through all of the realm of knowledge that they have, and so, like, they pick the decision that's going to stick. What is that, like, daddy issues? Like, angels are emotional now? Like, they have, I guess, I don't know, it's just like, Look, there are other theologies like the Norse, where you have Thor. Like when Thor leads armies, like he actually has like compelling reasons, or like when you have the War of Troy and Homer and Iliad. The Bible has a lot of cool stories. Like, don't get me wrong, with Moses and the pharaohs and shit. The teachings of Jesus, the Sermon on the Mount. But the fall of Lucifer, I'm just not a big fan. I just don't. It's meh. Why do angels last? I don't think like angels last. Pride made a fool of the devil. Yeah, but like, why aren't other demons proud? Like, why is it that in hell other demons don't try to rebel against him? Like, it's just like, it's like creating a villain that doesn't have a good backstory. It's just what I'm thinking. It is what it is. Anyway, let's talk about BlackRock, because yes, I did promise that I would talk about BlackRock. Where's BlackRock? Oh, here we go.
I think shrinking population is a cause for negative growth. But in my conversations with the leadership of these large developed countries that have xenophobic immigration policies, they don't allow anybody to come in, shrinking unemployment, shrinking demographics, these countries will rapidly develop robotics and AI and technology. And if the promise, I didn't say it's going to happen, but if the promise of all that transforms productivity, which most of us think it will, we'll be able to elevate the standard of living of countries and the standard of living of individuals, even with shrinking populations. And so the paradigm of negative population growth is going to be changing. And the social problems that one will have in substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations.
Okay, so is he saying that xenophobia and racism is actually profitable? And the answer is yes. Yes, he's literally saying that xenophobic nations are going to end up more profitable than multicultural nations. His pride overrides his reason. He lacks humility. No, I understand. Like, look, I heard the theological arguments. I just don't think it's a compelling villain story. You can like it if you want. Like, that's fine. I just find it meh. Like, compared to other religions, it's just not. It's not interesting. Like, I just don't see it. WEF is like TED Talk. God gave the angels free will, same like humans. Actually, it depends on who you ask. Aquinas doesn't believe so. Calvin doesn't believe so. Like, they believe in predeterminism. And so, like, the angels were always going to rebel. I mean, like, from God's point of view, if you're omniscient and omnipresent, and you know the future before it happens, then you know that by creating the angels, like, some of them will rebel, and some of them will become demons, and you're literally creating that, knowing that they will torture humanity, because they're the bad guys in the story. Right? So, like, yes, they have free will, but, like, God created them knowing what path they will take. If that makes any sense. It's kind of like watching a movie, I guess. You know, like, when you watch a movie, let's see, Game of Thrones, you're watching season 1, right? Like, the first time you watch it, you don't know what's going to happen, and you're wondered by it. But then when you watch it again, you know that Ned Stark will die. Like, despite the fact that when you watched it the first time, you didn't know what happened, when you watch it again, you know that nothing changes. Like, there is no way that Ned Stark doesn't die. And so it's kind of like if God is George R.R. Martin, he is creating Ned Stark knowing that he will die. But if the story was, let's say, to be played out, and let's say like people would have like quote unquote free will, then the decisions that Ned Stark would make would be from his own will. Like he chooses to be honorable, he chooses to become the hand of the king. Like from the point of view of Ned Stark, he always makes those choices. He does have free will. But from the point of view of the writer, of George R.R. Martin, he knows that he is making a character so he gets decapitated so that it starts the plot of the rest of the story. Now, if George R.R. Martin was like God, then he would literally be able to create this world. Like, let's say he has the ability to create these people. Would George R.R. Martin be good or bad? Knowing that he is creating certain individuals to suffer just so that the plot can move on. These are theological arguments that I think were happening in 1800 during the French Revolution. Anyway, right, swap xenophobia with responsible migration. That's actually a good point. I've only ever heard this said of Protestants by non-Protestants, though, if I might have been widespread in the past, but I don't think like part of most Protestants believe. It was during Calvinism. Calvinism is the guy that created the helped create the puritanical movement. He believes that the universe is like a clock and everything is predestined. Because God being omniscient, like, he already knows what happens, and you basically, like for instance, if God makes a prophecy, right, like the end times, right, like, the end times will happen no matter what. Like, all the events that we're making now is going to create the end times at a certain point. And so the universe is predestined. Like, yes, you have willpower, but the decisions that you will cannot be in a way that will interfere with the grand cosmic design. And so, these things that I'm saying are not of my own. Like, they're already arguments that were made during the great religious wars in Europe. People have debated this for 5,000 years. No, they haven't. Like, for most of human history, the church would basically tell you exactly what it's like. And for most of human history, you only had the Orthodox Church and the Catholic Church. And then you had heresies that the Catholic Church would put down by the sword. The debates happened during the religious wars in Europe, when Martin Luther decided to slap a couple of key points on a church door. What if he's saying don't need people at all, the entire country economy creates exports, robots, and AI? No, I think what he is saying is that you can go back to the Roman era. Like, during the Roman era, the plebeians were actually some of the most miserable people on earth. Why? They couldn't get jobs. Why? The Romans had slaves, right? So, like, imagine you're in a society where you want to get employment, but no one wants to hire you, because, like, why would they pay for you when they can have a slave? And so the plebeians, they were taken to the Colosseum and they would get bread and circus so that they don't rebel, right? Now, if you live in a world with robotics and AI, well, you go back to that level. You will have the patricians, like the people that own the robots, that own the AI, that work making that thing. You may have, like, a couple of other people that are into some other fields that cannot be replaced by the robots and the AI, and those would be, like, a little bit below the patricians. And then you have, like, the AI that is the slave. Like, the robots are the actual slave labor. Like, they actually do the menial tasks. And so what happens with the average Joe? You know, well, the average Joe has two possibilities. Number one, if Mars is getting colonized, hypothetically, right? Like, he can discover the new frontier, like Star Trek. Like, there's no more need for you here. Like, you're being deployed in other places, in other colonies. Unlikely. Otherwise, like, the average Joe is going to survive on universal basic income, if even that. And they're going to entertain the masses in order for the masses not to rebel. Is that necessarily bad? Depends. Like, at that point, you're a farm animal. But can you find meaning in life? I think you can. I think you can. I think like if you have a person that's not focused on necessarily hedonism, but like if they want to go in a rural area, they just want to sit in a house, have a garden, and focus on having a family, I think like for that person, that system may actually be better. If you're a person that lives in a city and you're addicted to the internet, and you know you just play video games all day and you watch porn, that type of system may not give you happiness. It may actually give you depression. Still, it's a choice, right? And so, that's pretty much what's going to happen. The masses will rebel? Why? They didn't rebel in Rome. The only time the masses rebel is when the bread and the circus stop flowing. Usually, it's when the bread, right? So as long as people have food, they don't rebel. Like, look at Detroit. Are people rebelling in Detroit? No. Why do Americans always assume people like to rebel? No, people don't rebel. It's minus 15 degrees outside. Do you think anyone wants to go out to rebel? No. You're not going to do the thing. Anyway, right. I'll end it here. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.